Well, I think, yes, we are on time. I'll get a little bit, let me start out with this pointing at me, and then I'll move that. Oh, hello, everybody. Yeah, so today, I don't know about you, but I've been sitting a lot, and I have started, if I'm not careful, having some neck discomfort again. And it's so common amongst patients. I happen to have two very large herniated discs in my neck that used to cause me a lot of severe pain in my hand. It even caused a lot of weakness and atrophy down my arm. And I've been able to get rid of it again, just like I did years ago from some home exercises that I'd like to share with you today. So if you don't know me already, my name is Cramblett. I've been a licensed physical therapist over 25 years now. And I work with everyone from your average mom and pop to the elite and Olympic level swimmers and cyclists and professionals out there. So today, as you heard me talk, we're going to talk about what causes neck pain, what are some of the structures, and what some of the things you can do about it, whether you're a runner or a cyclist or whether you just want to pick up your kids or grandkids. I run note cards to help me remember stuff. And where are we at? Beautiful. So I really, I'm watching down there. I really love to get questions, and I've got an assistant in my ear, Viata. Thank you, Viata, for all the work you're doing with this, to be able to answer your questions. And I really appreciate being able to see whether you guys agree with something or not, or whether you have questions, or whether you think it's a good idea or a bad idea, or whether it's true for you or not. So with that, this interactivity really helps me and understand what's going on. So your first option here to interact is to say, who out there has neck pain? Click on the hand wave, click on the heart, click on the wow. Who out there has neck pain? Anybody? It's almost as prevalent as low back pain, and low back pain is at 85% of people in the US, up in the high 60s, depending upon what you read, people have neck pain. So click the thumbs up or a heart if that's true for you. What causes neck pain? Well, I like to think about criminals and victims. Criminals are the things that are causing problems, and victims are the things that hurt. So if this guy had pain, if I yanked on his head and his neck hurt, I'm the one that's yanking. I am the criminal, and then something inside of his neck hurts. Frequently, the neck hurts because it's a victim of something else going on in the body. Now, what are the common structures that actually hurt? These joints of the neck, where one vertebrae mixes into the next and where these bones come together at. These cervical joints are frequently compressed, and that can cause a lot of pain. Frequently, these nerves, which is true, or was true for me, these nerves can get pinched on by the vertebrae, or they can get pinched on by the discs, just like they can in the back. And then finally, there's a lot of muscles going from your shoulder blade up to your neck and up to your head. And when this 12-pound bowling ball starts to get out of line with your spine and your torso, try taking a bowling ball and holding it here, and then taking that bowling ball and holding it out here. These muscles are going to be pretty darn upset. These muscles that are meant for movement are not meant to be under a static contraction of trying to hold that bowling ball out in front of your shoulder. So muscles are a common complaint, a common pain part. But again, what hurts isn't necessarily where the problem's coming from. So many times PTs and chiros and doctors put Band-Aids. Let me massage this, or let me manipulate this. We put Band-Aids on the things that hurt, and then the pain just keeps coming back. So today we're going to talk about some of the underlying causes of neck pain, as well as what hurts. Because the body as a whole is much like, I do a lot of cycling, so I think a lot in cycling analogies. The body as a whole is much like a wheel. And if you take any one of those spokes, the thoracic spine or the hip or the cranium, if you take any one of those spokes and loosen it up or tighten it up, the mid-back, this spoke is too tight. The system of the wheel is getting out of round or out of true. The body is a system, or if the deep neck core flexors, the deep neck stabilizers, If one spoke gets too loose in the core of the neck, just like the core of your abdominals, if the core gets too loose, then you're likely to have pain. If the core of your abdominal and your trunk gets too not awake, it shuts off, you're likely to have pain somewhere. So again, think as a wheel and a system as opposed to think about what hurts. So as you've probably heard me already say, posture is a big driver, a cause of underlying pain in the neck. In particularly, pain in the neck coming from some stiffness in the mid-back. So if some of this is making some sense, give me the thumbs up or give me a high five, or if you agree or disagree, please type some stuff in. Again, it really means a lot as I'm watching. And also, I really love questions. I usually get 1 or 2 as I go through these, and I love to answer those questions live if you have something specific. And I'm getting some people that are joining now. So today we're talking about neck pain, some of the causes and some of the things you can do about it. My name is Curtis Cramblett, as a physical therapist who's had a lot of neck pain myself from injuries and trauma. So we're talking about how to improve that neck pain. So the first thing, and you probably saw me with some duct tape on here. If I took some duct tape, and this guy is relatively immobile, but if you can imagine me taking some duct tape and coming across the front of my shirt here, if I could take this duct tape and pull it down, and it would cause this guy to round. You can see how that roundedness would cause then your chin to stick out. You can see it here. If someone has some tightness in their front or some tightness in their shoulders or some stiffness in their back that makes it so we can't get tall, then that tightness is then going to stick our head out. So mobility is our first goal. No matter how much strength you get through the system, no matter how much the brain is awake to the right muscles, if you can't move correctly because you're tight, if you've got some duct tape on you, if you don't have the door of mobility open, there's no way to walk through that door. So our first step is to restore the options of mobility. We have to loosen up the cement to start to get the body moving right. So in the whole day, we tend to sit here with our head forward and rounded, and we have to start to get that mobility to be able to be up straight again. So here we go with some exercises. We'll be posting these guys on YouTube, so if you've got some friends that want to see this, please check out our YouTube channel. And here we go for some mobility. Though I got to say that once you get the mobility going, the next step is the neuromuscular. So let's talk about some mobility. Excuse me as I move this a little bit and turn this around to here so that you can see me up here. The first mobility exercise I'd like to do, recap where you're at. The first, boy, these got turned around. Sorry about that. The first mobility exercise I'd like to do, and probably a lot of you are familiar with this awesome tool, is to use the foam roller on the mid-back. Now there's a couple of different tools we can use on the mid-back, but I'm just going to show you 2 of them here. Because remember, if you get stuck into a round, that round then pops the head forward. So supporting your head with your hands, that's important, to support your head with your hands. Your elbows need to go together. That gets the shoulder blades out of the way. You lift up your hips. The lower in your thoracic spine you are, the lower in your ribcage you are, the lower the hips are. And when you're getting up to the top of the thoracic spine, the higher your hips are. Now, for a lot of people, they get really quite good with this exercise. It's not a big deal. You can pause, and you can breathe, and you can open up as you breathe. Holding your breath and holding tension is not good. So that's number 1. But I want to show you a couple of other tools. This is a double tennis ball, if you will, or these are actually the yoga tune-up ball. And a tool that most people don't know about from the Franklin method. If you look up Franklin method and this kind of amoeba ball, both of these are wonderful tools, and you can use them the same way. I'm going to show you the Franklin ball. These work nicely either as a way to ease into things, or a double tennis ball as a way to get deeper into things. Both of the tennis ball and the Franklin ball work really nicely at the top of the spine. And probably some people are saying, can I use a single tennis ball? Absolutely, it just doesn't roll as well. This is a great tool for easing into things, but even for some of my really stiff people, this ball is nice because it allows you to Really arch over top of an area. So number one is mobility. And as I'm here, again, my elbows are together, and that keeps the ball not in the shoulder blades, but in the spine. I'm not going to go talk about it today, but mobility in the neck can't be left out without talking about the mobility in your pecs. If your shoulders are forward because your pecs are tight, then you're really missing the boat if you're not stretching out your chest, if you will. Okay, so mobility is number one, upper thoracic. Mobility for the cervical spine. Let's give you a neck exercise here. And I did not grab, excuse me for a moment. Mobility for the neck. So watch what I did here. I'm going to work on the left side of my neck. This is going to come up over top of my left upper trap. It's going to come underneath my right, and then did you see how I switched hands here? I'm grabbing a hold of this with my right. It's going up over my left shoulder. This can be a bathrobe, or in this case, it's a yoga mat. This is a yoga strap. And what you're going to do is we're going to mobilize the upper trap, and the stretching on this, and then what's underneath the upper trap is, believe it or not, your first rib. Here's the way you're going to do that. And if you're sitting at home and you want to do something similar, if you're sitting there and you grab a hold of the chair underneath you, you grab a hold of the chair beside you, you can basically do some of this stretching. It just doesn't catch the first rib as well. So if you've got a strap on your shoulder, you're going to pull that strap down and then tip your ear to your shoulder, and then or if my hand was grabbing here, the strap helps hold down the first rib, or the hand helps hold down the upper trap. If you've had nerve pain in an arm, or if you've got a blaring disc at the moment, please don't do this. I am choosing to do this on my left side, which is the less irritable side. But if you've had a disc, this can become a very powerful thing at the right time. So you pull down, and then you tip away. Okay, so that's on the mobility side of things. I'm going to give you one more combo mobility, and then we're going to talk about the stability side things. So bring this back around. Here we go. This is probably one of my favorite exercises truly of all time, because it works on a lot of things at once. And it's something I can do when I'm sitting at the computer. So I lean forward. This can also be done, this is also going to be done lying on your stomach. Propped up is a little bit more of an aggressive way to do it, but I like it in the chair quite a bit. You prop up on your forearms, either face down or in sitting. And then from here, you're going to think about your shoulder blades like steering wheels. And that steering wheel is going to turn, in this case, to the right. Everyone try this with me. Lay down, kind of get your forearms on the table, and you're going to look underneath. You're going to look underneath your right armpit as your shoulder blade on the right goes down, and as your shoulder blade on the left goes up. And then you come back up, look underneath your left armpit as your right shoulder blade goes up and your left shoulder blade goes down. Come back up to center, your neck gets long in the center, you can see it here. Look underneath your right shoulder blade, come back up, look underneath your left shoulder. And we're really trying to get that shoulder blade motion, because that's one of the places that gets stiff. And when you come back up to the center, you've got this lengthening of the back of the neck. The lengthening of the back of the neck is going to start to wake up some of the stabilizers in your neck. Next step, we worked on a little bit of mobility. We're starting to wake up some of the stability. You're going to take your fist or your thumb, and watch me. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take my fist and put it underneath my chin, or my thumb and put it underneath my chin. And I'm thinking about a relaxed front of my neck and a long back of my neck. And then it's just a gentle pressure, half a pound, quarter pound pressure between my chin and my fist. Now what I'm doing here is I'm starting to wake up, do some neuromuscular coordination, control strength by my deep neck stabilizers. And for those of you who are actually doing it, you're probably starting to notice that the shoulder blade on the opposite side, in this case the shoulder blade on my right side, it actually has to do some work, especially if you've chosen to do this lying down. I'm going to give you that visual now. If you've chosen to do this lying down, it works exactly the same way. Maybe some pillows are underneath your belly if you've had some back problems. But this is cervical stability. It's scapular shoulder blade stability. And if you want to really get vigorous, you can do some nice plank stability. And I did my core workout this morning, so I'm a little bit shaky here. But this idea of waking up your core of your neck, there's some really deep neck muscles, longus coli, longus capitis, and I'm on. Longus coli, longus capitis, multifidi sitting in here that help keep the core of the neck stable and bring that spine back in a neutral place. So that exercise, which you can do here, can also be done just while you're sitting upright. It can be done while you're standing. It can be done even while, and if you feel safe with this, while on your bike. When I had a herniated disc that was really getting me in a lot of trouble, I would frequently do that on my bike as a way to take off stress on that nerve and to help wake up my cervical spine stabilizers. Okay, so let's make sure that I did not miss anything. Probably one of the most important things I said there is it's not just about forcing your chin back, but it's about relaxing the front of your neck to allow your head to flow back. That's a lot of Alexander work, and it also comes from a lot of work I've done with the Institute of Physical Art. Let's see, I think we're getting close. What questions are popping up for anybody, and is this making any sense? Again, I really appreciate thumbs up and just really engagement as we go. We post all these exercises and more on our YouTube channel. We also have a couple of blogs up there on our website where you can get information on our neck pain or back pain, etc. Yeah, that is Viata. Okay. You there? Oh. No question. Oh, okay. All good. So I really enjoy doing these, and we put these out there in the world in order to try to make a difference for people. One of the other ways we like to make a difference is just to chat with you. If you've got some neck discomfort, some of you raised the hand in the beginning. If you've got some neck discomfort, we'd love to get on the phone. You're complimentary. Just have a short call to see whether there's any advice we can offer. And to see whether we can be helpful, whether it be face-to-face or we're seeing people from across the country now who've got neck pain, and just a couple of minutes of advice can make a difference in then getting better. We're doing these regularly, and we will be here next week. One last thing for you. You've spent some time today and you've invested your energy. What are you going to take home? I would love to see that. What are you going to do differently after today? Are you going to think about your posture and sitting? Are you going to wake up your cervical stabilizers? Are you going to finally start to stretch out your pec or your upper back? What are you going to do differently after watching today? I really encourage everyone to kind of take home this, in David White's words, this micro discipline from each time. Okay, so with that, we will call it a day. Please make that complimentary call, and I really look forward to talking to you, all the team here at Revolutions of Fitness.